So EMSTEEL is the largest listed manufacturing entity in the UAE, producing both steel and building materials, producing around 3.5 million tons. We were the first in MENA region last year to launch the first green hydrogen pilot for steel. We're looking at electrifying power equipment that are now based on natural gas.
Dr. Dimitrios is the Group Vice President of ESG and Sustainability at EMSTEEL, driving the company's decarbonization and energy transition strategy. With over 20 years of experience, he has led high-impact sustainability and hydrogen initiatives across green steel, fertilizers, and petrochemical sectors. Dr. Dimitrios brings deep expertise in executing transformational ESG strategies and first-of-a-kind sustainability solutions. He holds a PhD from Imperial College London and an MBA from Alliance Manchester Business School.
It has a key role, but unfortunately this comes at a cost. The cost is that it's one of the highest carbon-intensive industries globally. It contributes about 8 to 9% of the global greenhouse gas emissions.
So could you please tell us about some of those bold initiatives, sustainability initiatives that you've incorporated in your process?
We consider ourselves to be leaders in the decarbonization space. We are the first in the global steel industry company to capture a large part of its carbon dioxide emissions from 2016 in collaboration with another local company.
What are you most proud of in EMSTEEL?
I'm most proud of us walking the talk.
Hello, Dr. Dimi.
Hello there.
Thank you for hosting us in EMSTEEL today. Before we start, I just thought it would be nice for us to get to know you better. How did you get to EMSTEEL, and you are a sustainability champion? Could you just walk us through your journey to that path?
Sure. Thank you for your question and nice to meet you, and I'm really glad to be here. So I have over 20 years of cross-sectoral experience in clean energies, decarbonization technologies, industries that are impacted by decarbonization, such as fertilizers, petrochemicals, and more recently the steel sector, where I'm working for the past 3 years. My career started in the UK actually as a young engineer in a petrochemicals technology and licensing company. So as a young engineer, I had the opportunity to travel around the world and help clients with new petrochemical and chemical facilities and providing the technology and the expertise behind it. And at some point, I moved into the consulting world, again in the UK, where I became a management consultant, helping clients with more strategic and business-related topics. And after a few years, I decided to move into the UAE, where I started working for one of the largest primary energy company in the country, where I had roles varying from asset management of their fertilizers joint venture, as well as on the business development side on the hydrogen. The last 3 years have been with EMSTEEL. Initially, I was the group CEO advisor, and around 1 year and a half ago, I was appointed as the group's first vice president of ESG and sustainability. My role is to develop ESG and decarbonization strategies, develop the governance to apply and implement our ESG that the board is mandating on us, policies, engage with stakeholders, make sure we adhere to regulations, and reporting as well is an important part of my job, and making sure that we disclose in a very transparent way our targets and our performance on environment, social, and governance.
Right. And so today you work in EMSTEEL, and I know that, EMSTEEL rebranded a couple of years ago. Can you just tell us more about EMSTEEL? What do you do here? And just give us the story of EMSTEEL. When did it start? And just a little bit more.
So EMSTEEL is the largest listed manufacturing entity in the UAE, producing both steel and building materials. And by building materials, I mean predominantly cement. So we have a large steel operation here in Abu Dhabi, producing around 3.5 million tons of steel. And we have a large cement facility in Al Ain, producing around 4.5 million tons of cement. So we pretty much cover most of the hard-to-abate sector by having these operations. The company and the mandate of the company when it was established 20 years ago, it was to support the industrial and infrastructure and economic development of the country. So pretty much most of the steel that comes from EMSTEEL was destined to build buildings such as Yas Island or Burj Khalifa or the Museum of the Future. So we have supported the local economy, the infrastructure, and this is really the reason that the company was established years ago.
Right. I think if you're already touching on my next question, which is the importance of steel, to our everyday lives, and it would be nice to tell us more about, the steel sector. I was reading some fun facts about the steel sector, about how it started and all of that. Could you share more about the steel sector?
Sure. So the steel sector has long been the foundation of progress and the backbone of the industrial and economic development. So it supports sectors such as automotive, infrastructure, equipment, whether it's mechanical or electrical equipment. They use steel to manufacture these products. And more recently, it has a very important role to play in the energy transition by providing the material you need to build wind turbines, solar panels, hydrogen electrolyzers. Everything you need to support your energy transition pretty much has a contribution from steel. So it's a very important material. Actually, it's the ranked third in terms of volumes after concrete and aggregates in terms of volumes that are consumed every year. So in terms of number, it's about 1.7 gigatons of steel have been consumed last year. And the industry is still growing at slower rates than before because it supported many economies to grow already. But it has a key role. But unfortunately, this comes at a cost. The cost is that it's one of the highest, let's say, carbon-intensive industries globally. It contributes about 8 to 9% of the global greenhouse gas emissions. So in order to meet the commitments, the Paris Agreement commitments, decarbonization of the steel sector is essential. Therefore, talking about EMSTEEL, we already started being very active on this. Perhaps much before than the topic was popular, we have started doing many things on that sector that I'm happy to touch on your following questions. Yeah.
So you talk about the steel sector being a hard to abate sector. What is it about steel making that makes it, a great contributor to carbon emissions?
You can put the steel manufacturing process in two buckets. The first bucket, which is the biggest bucket, is the primary production of steel, which includes a process which is very old. All the way back to the Industrial Revolution, this process has started being developed, which is based on coal blast furnaces. Yeah, around 70% of the global production currently, it's based on coal blast furnaces, which is highly polluting. Within the primary production route, there is a smaller process, which is the process that we're using here at EMSTEEL, which is based on natural gas. And in the second bucket, you have the secondary production route, which is much less polluting. As you know, or as you may know, steel is infinitely recycled material, so you can use it again and again as something that we call scrap. So there is a secondary process, which it's about 20% of the overall capacity, global capacity, which is called electric arc furnaces and uses as its feedstock recycled metal, which is melted and you produce steel again. So when it has to do with primary production routes, maybe we should start thinking, in order to understand the process, on how the value chain works.
Right.
So the value chain starts from the mining of the iron ore, that it's processed or concentrated and transported to iron and steel facilities, such as the facility that we have here at EMSTEEL. It's processed into either a blast furnace or a natural gas DRI reactor to remove the oxides from the iron oxide. So in order to do that, you need to use either coal, which is used in the coal blast furnaces, or natural gas. So it's an inherent part of the process to use a fossil fuel in your process to deoxidize the iron oxide to produce iron, that it can be further processed in another step, which is called the electric arc furnace, to produce steel. So that's the fundamental way of steel being produced currently around the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's in the process of the melting that you then emit a lot of carbon to
Yeah.
the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And the iron ore, do you get that locally or is that imported?
There are no local resources of iron ore.
Okay.
So we get our iron ore in the form of iron ore pellets, which is basically a processed form of iron ore, from countries such as Brazil or Australia or Sweden, countries that they are rich in iron ore resources.
Okay. So you already started walking us through some of the initiatives that you take. For example, the use of natural gas. I was reading about EMSTEEL and some of the work the company has done in relation to carbon capture and green hydrogen. So could you please tell us about some of those bold initiatives, sustainability initiatives that you've incorporated in your process?
Yeah, absolutely. So we consider ourselves, and increasingly we get that recognition from the outside world. So it's not that we are only saying that ourselves. Yeah, we consider ourselves to be leaders in the decarbonization space within our industry. So we've taken major steps over the past few years. The first step is what you mentioned, is the carbon capture. So we are the first in the global steel industry company to capture a large part of its carbon dioxide emissions from 2016 in collaboration with another local company here.
Right.
So we do that for several years, but we haven't stopped there. We have a decarbonization strategy which it's publicly disclosed with certain targets. By 2030, we're targeting a 40% reduction from 2019 on absolute emissions. And in order to achieve that, we've started our journey with carbon capture. We already use large amount of electricity, clean electricity, a combination of nuclear and solar for our Scope 2 decarbonization. So we reached 83%, 84% last year on the utilization of clean energy in the form of renewable energy and clean energy certificates. We also look at solar captive projects. So we are in discussions, advanced discussions with another clean energy or renewable energy developer here to develop our own captive solar power generation to fulfill some of our needs with solar energy that will be produced on site. We're looking at hydrogen. We were the first in MENA region last year to launch the first green hydrogen pilot for steel. So we are already operating this plant as we speak. It's operating. It's a relatively small pilot, but it gives us deep insights on the feasibility of applying this important to our decarbonization lever and scaling it up in the future. We have so many different things that we do. We're looking at electrifying some of our equipment that are now based on natural gas and using clean energy to drive this equipment. We're looking at leveraging our waste. We have reverse osmosis plants that they produce waste brine. We announced a project recently that we're exploring monetizing this waste brine by combining it with carbon dioxide and therefore sequestering the CO2 in this material. So we're looking at many things. We are very determined and and very vocal about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, as a sustainability enthusiast myself, I understand some of the terms you've mentioned, but for some of our listeners who don't understand these great initiatives, I'd like us to break it down. So let's start with the carbon capture. What exactly, so you talked about the carbon capture, your process. ensures that your natural process, carbon is released to the atmosphere. So it would be nice to explain that process. So let's start with that one. Just simple terms that, the children and adults and everyone can understand.
I will try my best to make it in simple terms. So as I said, CO2 is produced in our facility. We are an industrial facility due to the fact that we use fossil fuels currently that are an inherent part of our process. In order to get into iron from iron oxide, you need to use a source of carbon. And the raw material you produce, due to the chemical reaction, carbon dioxide, which is released in the atmosphere. But what we've done is that this part of the CO2 that it's released, we capture it with some special equipment that we have invested in, in order to capture the CO2, concentrate it, and send it to our off-taker of CO2 to use it for injecting it into their oil fields for enhanced oil recovery.
Enhanced what?
Enhanced oil recovery.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
And you capture the carbon and it goes through pipes.
yeah, there is a pipe, that connects us with our partner. They receive the CO2, they dehydrate it, they compress it, and they send it into the upstream operations.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now you talked about the waste brine.
Yeah.
What's that?
Okay, this is a very recent project that we have announced. It's in the public domain, and it's a very exciting opportunity. We have partnered with a new company, technology company, that it's called Medison. And we are exploring, we will be piloting the conversion of waste brine. Brine is a byproduct of desalination.
Right.
So we have reverse osmosis facilities, our own reverse osmosis facilities, which take the seawater and they purify it. We use the clean water in our processes because we have large water consumption needs, as an operation. In this process, you generate quite a lot of brine, that up to now, at least, everyone is usually disposing them back into the sea. In our case, now we are exploring a very interesting technology where we can convert this brine by combining it with carbon dioxide that we capture in our facility to produce magnesium carbonate, which is a valuable material that can be used in many applications. And the CO2 will be stored permanently into this material.
Right. So magnesium carbonate, what is it typically used for?
It can be used for many industrial applications. I
think it's a cleansing material as well.
Yeah, perhaps, yeah.
Yeah, okay, interesting. Now the last one is green hydrogen. Yeah. Because green hydrogen seems to be like, the way to go, especially when it becomes scalable. It seems like the way to. Can you just explain that a bit more?
Green hydrogen, it's I would call it the holy grail of decarbonization for the hard to abate industrial sector. And it's a really good fit, especially for us that we are currently using natural gas as our fossil fuel. I'm not going to go into the very technical details, but effectively the reason that we use natural gas in our process is for the hydrogen part of the natural gas. As you know, natural gas, it's predominantly methane, which is CH4. So the reason that we use natural gas is mainly for the hydrogen part, but also for the carbon part. Therefore, what we're looking to do in the future is to replace this natural gas process that is used in our process with a clean source, which is green hydrogen. So by displacing natural gas with green hydrogen, we don't have the byproduct, which is going to be CO2. The byproduct will be steam or water, which is harmless.
Right. Interesting. I mean, it's amazing that these initiatives are there, but I believe that it's also quite expensive investing in all these technologies. So
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest challenges and hurdles. And there was a big excitement over the past, let's say, 3, 4, 5 years, especially on the hydrogen domain. This has seemed to have decelerated. People realize that it's harder than initially. There was an expectation that the cost will go down. By now, it hasn't.
it hasn't, yes.
Me, I'm a believer of continuing to explore this type of technologies and innovations. I feel that especially without hydrogen, but also other important levers, we will not get where we want to get with regards to decarbonization. Not only our decarbonization, but also the decarbonization targets of our customers, because in the end of the day, they will be buying a steel product with lower embedded carbon. So it will help them as well reduce their corporate emissions. In that case, their scope 3. So I'm a believer that you should start from the low-hanging fruits, start small, and demonstrate the technical and commercial feasibility in steps, until you are ready to scale up and until your customers are ready to invest in a form of premiums to a product that has lower carbon intensity attributes. Yeah.
Yeah, and you already have, customers that are ready to pay for low carbon steel.
Uh, this is a big question. Yeah. But I would say that we have customers that they are very interested in the attributes of a lower carbon intensity steel. We've recently announced a very exciting project actually, or initiative with a local company, one of the biggest real estate developer here in Abu Dhabi, for them to offtake from us some volumes of green steel, as we call
Right.
it, to build the first net zero mosque in Abu Dhabi. So this is working with our customers and our value chain is it's very important, and in a collaborative mode. So we've taken the first step towards extending our efforts to our value chain and sharing the benefits of producing and investing into green hydrogen, green electricity, carbon capture to produce a product that has lower carbon intensity.
Right. So let's talk about the different awards. Coming into your office, I see all these awards, but again, EMSTEEL has been in the news. At least I've seen in the last 2 months receiving different awards. The AA MSI ESG award that
Yeah.
you received recently. Could you tell us more about this award? And I'm glad that all this efforts that EMSTEEL is putting into decarbonization is being recognized globally, which is good. So, 2 things I'd like to know. Tell us more about the awards and tell us more about the driving force, because decarbonizing and doing all these initiatives are expensive. So, what is the driving force behind that?
So MSCI is it's not an award. It's as you know, it's an ESG rating, and it's one of the, if not the most credible ESG rating organization. So for us, this was achieving AA was a provisional rating, was a significant validation of our claims by an independent, credible ESG rating on our strong performance on ESG and managing ESG risks and having the right governance and setting the right targets. So it was a significant milestone to validate my personal and my team's effort and the wider organization, obviously, because ESG is not a one-man show. It needs the full organization to engage. And, the AA also signifies, our resilience and our focus and leadership commitment on ESG and sustainability. We got many other awards.
Can you show off?
Eh?
Can you show off?
Sure. So this year has been very very good for us, very successful for us, and we hope to achieve more. Yeah. So we've been acknowledged by the Ministry of Industry and Advanced Technology in the Make It in the Emirates event, receiving sustainability awards. We've been awarded our group CEO from Forbes awards on sustainability. We won the Best Hydrogen Project of the Year award with one organization. We got our ESG ratings. So there are many recognitions, awards, ESG ratings that put us ahead of our peers. It's not a competition, but it's important for us to set the example. We have a very strong commitment and drive towards sustainability. We see it as a long-term value creation topic rather than a compliance measure. So we have moved away from a compliance-based approach over the last couple of years since I'm heading the sustainability function towards a purpose-led company. And we are planning to maintain the momentum on this topic. And we see value out of it.
Right. So is it more at all of these initiatives you're saying is coming more from a top-down approach, or it's a mix of the two? Because you used words like purpose-led, right? So is it coming from the governance? Where's it coming from exactly?
It's a combination of things. It has started from the governance and from the top and from our group CEO's commitment and our board of directors commitment, setting a clear mandate on ESG. We have an ESG board committee. So the board is engaged and very committed towards this practice, ESG. Obviously, in order to go somewhere, it has to come also from inside. Yeah, this is a long process that we are currently in the middle of doing, and it's an everyday job, but it will take some time.
Sure.
It's to create a very strong sustainability culture in the organization. Like, for example, we have a very strong culture in health and safety. We are one of in our industry, the steel industry, a very recognized company on our health and safety performance. Now we're building our sustainability strengths as well. And we're in the process of, let's say, embedding sustainability into our, the company's DNA. Sustainability is embedded in our corporate strategy, that's clear. And we're building our capabilities and culture on the wider organization.
So other than the awards, do you find that being a responsible and sustainable company has helped build trust with your stakeholders?
Definitely. For us, first of all, engagement with our stakeholders is very important. It has been, and it is, an ongoing process, but it's a very important part of our building our materiality assessment, which is a critical part of our ESG strategy. So engagement with our stakeholders was very important to understand, what impact does our company has to our stakeholders. So we engage widely with stakeholders, be it customers, suppliers, investors, the government, regulators, and many others, and the community as well, to understand what is material to us and to them. Yeah. So we came up with an ESG strategy that we again disclosed in our sustainability report, last year's sustainability report, that identifies 11 material topics, which is our focus areas. Yeah. So we obviously have greenhouse gas emissions has been a very important material topic, given that we are a heavy industry player. Yeah. We operate both steel and cement facilities, such as well as water, energy intensity, and waste. And we also have important topics or material topics on the social side, such as health and safety, human capital development, and Emiratization. And on the governance side, what comes up as more important and more material to us and our stakeholders is business integrity and ethics, responsible supply chain, our governance, corporate governance, as well as customer engagement. So for us, stakeholders are very important, and we hope that we create. We are the shining star. That's how I hope we are seen, and we are contributing and hope inspire other companies to come with us on this journey of becoming better on each of the dimensions of ESG, as well as, let's say, double clicking on the decarbonisation side, which is particularly important for us.
On the finance side, they say companies that are sustainable and are mindful of the environmental risk typically would have lower interest rates and higher enterprise value. Do you find that true?
I cannot talk on behalf of the investors, but what I'm going to say is that we take that seriously and as a value creation opportunity, on the finance side. As you know, ESG is a purely cross-functional practice. So we work with all functions, including finance, just to focus on your question. And this year we have launched our Green Finance Framework, which is again a public document, which defines it's a public document that it's also validated by a second-party opinion company, and defines our commitments and our eligibility criteria of sustainable projects, which will allow us in the future for any sustainable projects, such as projects on steel, cement with specific carbon intensity characteristics and attributes, as well as renewable energy projects, will give us access to sustainable finance. So it increases your, let's say, the pool of investors that are accessible to you to finance these projects. Now, whether this will come at a lower interest rate, I'm not in the position to
mention. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it gives you that option
Exactly.
because you can access green bonds. In fact, you mentioned earlier that steel is used in the production of some of those panels.
Yeah.
The solar panels.
Steel as a material is used in the production of some of these panels, not our steel, because when I joined the steel industry, I was new to it 3 years ago. I came from a different background, more onto clean energy, hydrogen, chemicals and stuff like that. And I found out that it's also a very specialized sector. You produce different types of steel products that are used for different applications. In our case, our company produces longs. So it's steel predominantly used for the construction sector, for infrastructure, for buildings. Some are used for the automotive sector, etc.
Yeah. Earlier on, you were showing me your sustainability reports that has just recently been released. And I think that takes me to your question in terms of how do you ensure transparency and accountability?
Yeah. Thank you for your question. Yeah, this is right. I have it here with me, the sustainability report, and I would be happy to give you a copy.
Okay. You're going to present this to me at the end?
We actually won an award yesterday, only yesterday,
congrats.
for this. Thank you so much. For the Sustainability Company Awards, the award of the best sustainability report, which again recognition of the efforts and our transparency into disclosing our performance, our strategy, our targets, our commitments. It's all aligned with globally recognized frameworks such as GRI, aligned with the requirements of our regulators here in Abu Dhabi. We've done significant effort to put something that really shows a departure in the way that we disclose our sustainability-related, information. So yeah, I'm very happy for this.
Right. So is this only the report, or did you have an auditor attest?
Yeah.
You have a limited assurance?
So we have a limited assurance every year. So we had an independent third-party assurance to validate our claims, our emissions, our ESG KPIs on other KPIs, because as I said before, we have a number of KPIs covering a span of environment, social, and government material topics. So yeah, this is a standard part of our process to get third-party assurance.
Okay. And for your consumers or customers that purchase steel from you, are you able to give them like an emission factor of each of the steel that you sell?
Yeah. So what we do give them, which is again a global standard, at least to date, it's environment product declarations, which again are verified certificates of the one of the aspects that these certificates really focus is on the carbon intensity, or the GWP, which stands for global warming potential of our products. Yeah. So we have increasingly seen customers asking for these EPDs, the environment product declarations. It's a process that myself and my team have gone through, and we do validations every year on the global warming potential of our products, that we're selling to our customers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, your company is obviously the star child when it comes to sustainability in the steel sector.
Yeah.
Does that create a responsibility for MSteel to inspire other companies to share information and knowledge of what you're doing and how you do it?
Yeah, I would believe so. I would hope so, I would say. We are very open, very transparent. My mantra is based on transparency and collaboration, especially when it has to do with energy transition. We need to move away from a transactional approach towards a partnership approach. So we're very open. The sustainability report is a testament of our transparency. And we have increasingly seen, our supply chain, where we engage significantly with our supply chain, our partners also appreciating that, and we work on many exciting opportunities and initiatives with them.
What's the future of steel?
The future of steel, that's a good question. I wish I had a crystal ball, but if I had, I would say that or the vision for the steel would be for green steel to become the norm. There are many ways of, let's say, technologies, prospective technologies. We talked about them earlier, some of them related to green hydrogen. So another one is the increasing use of recycled scrap, which comes with very low carbon intensity as well. So it's also very relevant to circular economy and integration. The digitalization of an AI in the steel industry will also have a significant impact, and we already have started seeing the benefits of it.
Is that from an efficiency perspective?
From an efficiency, from a transparency, when it has to do with certification, using blockchain to trace your products, and we have already started doing. So the future of steel also, I think that, there are some changes that need to be, to happen in order for steel also to stay relevant. Yeah. So there is an issue with capacity building and workforce transformation that's not only related to the steel industry, it's related to the energy transition. And so I believe in order to decarbonize at scale, we need to accelerate the transition to low carbon technologies as well. That's very important. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you see, you have the crystal ball. Oh. I think on a final note is for companies, because I am impressed by the initiatives and the investments, because whether or not the customers want it or they can pay for it, you're taking a long-term view as a company. What would be your advice to other companies that need to start being more focused on environmental consciousness and responsibility?
I would say the way I see it, at least, is that I see sustainability, and the environment has a big part of sustainability. is about future-proofing your business, yeah, and seeing and embracing sustainability as a core business strategy. That would be my advice, rather than a tick box exercise. So transform sustainability to a competitive advantage. We've seen increasingly that customers ask for sustainable products. We've seen investors been scrutinizing your ESG performance. So all our stakeholders move towards this direction. So in order to stay relevant, you need to see sustainability as a value creation tool and as a key part of your corporate strategy.
Absolutely. It has to be as a value creation tool.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not just a tick box.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Now, on a fun note,
Yeah.
what would you like to break? We'll do build and break. What would you like to break in this sector if you had to break a practice you like to break?
I mentioned it before. I will mention it again because I think it's very important. I would like to break the transactional mode in the relationship with the supply chain, with the value chain, specifically for energy transition related topics, sustainability related topics. It's a new sector. It faces a lot of challenges, mostly are business case related challenges. So we need to think of it differently in a more open, transparent way.
Right. A holistic
And
manner, not just,
yeah,
necessarily business case. Because there is business case is not necessarily only financial. There is the potential adverse effect that can also become financial in the future. And that has to be taken into consideration. And what are you most proud of in EMSTEEL that you like that EMSTEEL is building?
yeah. What I'm most proud of us walking the talk. So we're not just talking; we're walking it as well.
And you're saying the rewards.
Yes. Yes, that's what I'm most proud of, and I'm also proud of the support and the commitment from the leadership, our group CEO, and the determination to transform the organization into a true sustainability leader. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Yeah.